Let's talk about city builders, covering everything from fashioning a human utopia to building the industrial powerhouse of your dreams. Here are my favourites. Now, it would be wrong not to talk about SimCity. It was the catalyst for most other games that we'll talk about today. It was, frankly, a superb franchise. Some of the best and most important games ever made. But it's only number 10 because it's old. Yes, play it today and you will enjoy it, but it doesn't have that flashiness and style that I crave. It's a solid foundation, but it doesn't have that je ne sais quoi. So the rest of this list, we'll talk about games that have that little je ne sais quoi that sets them apart from the crowd. Je ne sais quoi. We're not even on Earth for this one. Whole different planet altogether. Get ready to tame the red planet in surviving Mars. As you can imagine, building a city on Mars comes with its fair share of complications. Fertile land for crops? Won't find it. Plentiful supply chains? Doubtful. Breathable air? Forget about it. It's almost like we're not supposed to try and build a city here, but that won't stop us trying. It's unforgiving, but with that brings satisfaction. The sort where you accomplish the thing you were never supposed to do. Like me, when I was 8, sneaking into the fridge and consuming a whole block of butter. Do you like beavers? Do you like trees? Do you like the idea of chomping on bark and building a bustling beaver utopia? If the answers to all of those were yes, then let me introduce Timberborn. Here we are, a city building game without a human in sight. What a lovely change. So beavers are well known for being industrious little critters. They build their own dams, and as we all know, they can also deal with agriculture, crafting, tools, multi-level structures. Who would have thunk it? The game is great for those who like a puzzle with their city building, as making your city work vertically is key to this. The end result is something that's intricate and a marvel to behold, or just a forsaken wooden hellscape with no reason or purpose. Just depends how good you are at being a beaver. So, once upon a time, cities were awash with shining marble and full of ingenious, creative solutions. Then they got all sacked and looted and mankind entered an age of darkness. Nothing but war, misery, plague, and bread made out of stones. Truly a terrible time to try and build a settlement. Banished lets you try your hand at leading a town in this era. And if you think it's going to be all starvation, sadness, and sacrifice, you're correct. It's brutal. No modern administrative services to rely on, your villagers will be yelling in your ear, day in, day out. Oh, my house is missing a wall, they'll complain. My tools don't have handles. More problems. My drinking water has feces in it. Get over it. I'm the same today. It's a never-ending slew of problems that you have to deal with. But if you rise to the challenge, you'll have a great time. Or you'll just get aggravated and angry and quit. Who knows? Yes, I know, an old game, how boring. And I agree, old games are boring. And that's why this is only number 6. But what a well-deserved 6th place it is for the excellent Caesar 3. This came at a time where there was a real craze for city building games in the ancient world. There were titles with Roman, Greek, and Egyptian varieties. This came along and set a new benchmark and became the best of the best. And then, the craze died out. But it ended on a high, let me tell you. Caesar 3 still stands up even to this day. They did make a sequel a few years later, but it wasn't as good. But now's the time to follow it up. It would guarantee sales in the single digits, at least. Fancy building yourself up a serene tropical haven? Oh, looks lovely, doesn't it? Well, that's the aim of the game in Tropico, and it is paradise. The aim is to create a worker utopia, revel in luxuries, and give your people a life they never could have dreamed of. And you're all in it together, right? All sharing the fruits of your labors? Well, no, because you are a dictator. Yes, they might get a bit of the high life here and there, but that's after you've exported the good stuff to neighboring nations. Despite the corruption and dictating, it's a wonderfully charming and engaging city builder, and the tropical setting is amazing. If you like to just sit and watch your creations ebb and flow, this is one of the best. In that regard, it is stunning. Here's something that will be familiar to all us Brits, a land where it never stops raining, against the storm. So here we've got something that really is a step away from everything else I'm talking about today. Not just a settlement builder, but also a roguelike. Now how does that work? Each and every town you build is fundamentally different. You have different objectives, rotating resources, random events, and a bevy of different upgrades. How you complete the run will provide a fresh challenge with each and every one of your intrepid settlements. It focuses more on the initial challenge and puzzle, and once you're self-sufficient, you move on and start a new settlement. Definitely one for all of you who like the early game. Those of you that like building a thriving, never-ending metropolis, this maybe ain't the best pick, but these next games might be. Those of you that gravitate towards city builders for a jovial, relaxing experience, look away now. This is not for you. Instead, this is for all of you who love a game to be unforgiving and depressing. A city builder that's all about living on the brink of survival, reckless worker safety conditions, and where child labor laws are thrown off into the breeze. No, this isn't Arkansas. This is Frostpunk. Okay, yes, it's on the depressing side. You're almost constantly freezing to death. You're sending your citizens to die in the mines. There's no point getting attached to your villagers because none of them will reach their 30s. Despite all this unpleasantness, it's a bloody good game. Sure, you won't be able to look at yourself in the mirror after you doom a whole town to certain death, but it's bloody fun up to that point. All the systems are fleshed out, there's plenty of micromanagement, and if you're going to make it through the winter, well, you'll have to be switched on. Or at least be better than me. If you didn't get enough of lax child labour laws in Frostpunk, good news! We're in a similar era for Anno 1800. First off, the game is massive. You aren't just stuck to one zone. You've got a whole new world to discover, colonize, and industrialize. If you want to flaunt your wad and buy some DLC, that unlocks more zones. The Arctic, Africa, a different old world. Each one provides new islands, resources, and ways to play. You need to build a network to create an industrious little superpower ferrying goods around the map, develop your city, trade, and grow it from tiny little peasant hamlet into an international Victorian metropolis. There's other players to trade with and compete against, merchant factions to curry favour with, and a bunch of pirates to keep you on your toes. It ticks so many boxes and will keep you busy and expanding for hundreds, if not thousands, of hours. Our top spot can go to none other than Cities Skylines. Where SimCity ushered in an era once upon a time, Cities Skylines came in 25 years later and gave us the ultimate experience. If you want to build your dream city, sit there for hours thinking about zoning permits, gas lines, traffic congestion, and everything else that might give other humans a headache, Cities Skylines is your perfect game. For all of you wanting a logistical nightmare thrown at you that you can hack away at, decode, and solve, this is your game. Keeping humans alive is actually incredibly hard. Keeping 1 million humans alive is even harder. They all have needs, demands, expectations, and they all want different things. But if you can manage to provide that for your people, they'll look at you like you're nothing short of a god. And let's face it, that's the real fantasy when we play games like this, isn't it? All in all, a lot of games on this list are great to try, dabble with, and learn the ins and outs of. But if you just want to play one game, one that will challenge and demand countless hours in the pursuit of metropolitan greatness, Cities Skylines is all you need. Plus, it's no longer just a great city building game. It's a great city building franchise. God, I am so happy to be living in this exact time in history. And there we have it, something for all your planners, builders, administrators, and logisticians. Now, go, build your utopias, cater to your people, and create the perfect worlds we wish we could have in real life. And then look out the window and feel that awful gnawing realization that the real world sucks when compared to the life we've built for our virtual citizens. God, it really is bad. Should it be this bad? See you next time, friends. Bye!